This is Sparky Help. This is Easy Guide to Contactors versus Relays. Which one do you need? Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. What's a contactor? Well, here is a contactor, and you can see there are 8 terminals with an extra 2 for A1 and A2. So let's have a look what a relay would look like. So there is a relay. There is a few more terminals on this particular one, but we can still see an A1, but you can't see the A2, but those we'll have a look to see what they are. So what does a contactor and a relay have in common? And that is the coil. So the coils can come in different sizes. So there's a 24-volt coil there. What does a coil do? Well, it becomes magnetic. So you apply energy to it and it will become magnetized and it will close a switch. Coils can come in different shapes and sizes, but more to do with the voltage and AC or DC. So there's 110 volts, there's a 230 volt, and these will all fit different contactors for their particular brands. And there we've got a 400 volt coil. So the first thing you need to make sure when you're putting a contactor in that you buy the right one with the right coil, that you've got the voltage available. There's a contactor, small one, so this is a 20 amp double pole contactor, so 2 switches effectively within it, and we have a coil within it. Then we can go up to a 15 kilowatt, so these are just all made in exactly the same way, but they're just going up in power, and there's up to 150 amps for a particular contactor there, which is 3 pole, and it says NO in these two, which means normally open. So the switch is in open position when it's not energized. So let's have a look. There's the coil itself as a drawing, as a representation, and there's our double pole contacts. And these would be a normally open contacts. So those switches, as you can see, they're not closed. There's 2 terminals, 2 terminations on each one, and they are connected together. This is the magnetic field that will pull those closed. So the coil, when energized, will close those contacts. There's a switch then. What does this allow us to do? It allows us to switch larger power demands with a smaller switch. So you could have a time clock to turning on an entire building if that's what you wish to do. So contactors generally are more heavy power compared to relays. So there's a contactor with 4 connections going through it, so 4 switches with a coil A1 and A2, and as you can see on the side, that one is rated at 20 amps, so each contact is 20 amp rated. So you could switch up to 4 20 amp circuits through that one contactor. And now we have another contactor then, just a different variation of it, and there is another particular brand, same type of thing, more or less exactly the same thing, just slightly different in how it basically works. It's just a switch that is open in when it's unenergized. What are those little levers on the front? Well, that's can you see that it says 0 and 1 on these pits here? So that is an override, so you could walk up and manually switch it on if you want to just test it maybe, to see whether the circuit actually works. So you could override it by altering that, but it does mean gaining access to it. And there we have a contactor, a smaller one that could fit inside a distribution board. And when you close the switch, what it allows us to do, the magnetic coils will be energized and they will close those contacts at whatever rating they happen to be, and the load passing through it would turn on. Turn the power off, and this would all happen instantaneously, by the way, and the contacts would, because they're sprung, would open. What does a relay consist of? Well, it consists of a coil, but in this time it has a slightly different terminations. In this time it looks like 2 two-way switches on my version. You could have that, could be 2, 3, 4 types of contacts going through it. But what you've effectively got, you've got a common terminal in the top, and you've got one that is on and one that is off at a particular time. There, it could also be this type here, where this very looks similar at the moment, but let's add another set of contacts in. So now what you have these ones are on, and these ones would be off, and they would be linked up via the magnetic field. So when you energize it, it will open and close it. So we have the same control circuitry going through it. So again, make sure you've got the right voltage for your relay. So generally speaking, relays are for lower power, and they would have NO or NC next to them, so that normally open or normally closed, and this is unenergized, so normally closed when power is off. So you can see on the top one, it's like I say, it's a two-way switch. On these ones, if you had something connected through here, then it would be on if you didn't energize it. And if you connect something through that one, it would be off when it wasn't energized, but as soon as you turn the switch on, it would become powered. So there's a relay, slightly different version of it, but you can see that you've got normally open, normally closed. And then we have another one, normally open, normally closed. And now we have a relay there, and you can see they're numbered. And that then would connect to a base. So we would connect in and out to allow you to make the connections. That relay there could then be unplugged and replaced quite easily without undoing the connections, whereas the bottom one, if that went wrong, you'd have to undo all the connections. And if we energise the coils, they will go in the opposite position, as you can see there. So relays, generally speaking, are for smaller power ratings compared to contactors, which are generally heavier ratings. Both of these can be overridden, very much like the other versions we had. So that lever there, if we pulled that lever, it would operate the operate the relay inside and make it come on. This one would do the same here. There you go. The basic difference between contactors and relays is not a lot, but one for low power, which would be the relay, and one for heavier power. Just make sure that you've got the right voltage for the coil and the current rating that it is able to switch. This is Sparky Help. Thank you very much.